Okay. Now we can go.
All right, now are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay. MyLion is one of the apps under the LCI main website, which is what this is, lionsclubs.org. And you just need to log in, and you'll see that my login is kind of defaulted. In other words, I've got it set up so I don't have to remember my password, although it's the same one I've been using ever since about the 1990s. So I pretty well know what it is. But anyway, you sign in. And then under the member portal, there's a lot of things you can get in. Most secretaries, presidents, and treasurers operate out of my LCI, and that's where you enter your MMR. I'm going to go ahead and open that just to show you. And I don't have the ability to do this because I'm the immediate past district governor or because I'm the district information technology chair. I have the ability to enter my line because I'm the Saxe Lions Club service chairperson.
Okay.
But because all of these 4 roles roll under my top one, I don't really have to choose this one in order to enter. The only people that can actually enter or actually report activities are the club president, the club secretary, the service chairperson, and if you have one, the club administrator. It's rare that clubs have a club administrator. So anyway, even when I'm here under my LCI, I can click on this return to your line account and come back to the main screen. And the actual way you enter service activities is by opening my line. And then in practically all cases, you simply click on the report past activity button. And I'm going to run you through several reports here that you can do. So under report past activity, it comes up to everybody around this area. But don't worry about that because the only button you need to worry about is the big orange report plus button. If you click on that, it brings up your screen that allows you to enter activities. And like I say, I'm going to run you through a few of them. Let's start with a service activity, which is, and I'm just making these up, although it is something my club does, the community garden. So you give it a title, it defaults to your club. In my case, it defaults to the Saxe Lions Club. You can either report single day or multiple day. Let me quickly show you multiple day. Multiple day might be where you would start on a day like December 1, and you might end on a day like today. If you do that, that's what multiple day means. Just simply a start date and an end date. If instead you pick single day, and it's going to default to any one day you pick here. So let me just pick today. And then because we're simulating doing a community garden activity, it's going to be a service project. And then the cause is going to be one of our 5 global causes: hunger, environment, childhood cancer, diabetes, or vision. If it isn't any of those, then you would click the other button. In this case, it's a hunger activity. So I'm going to click on hunger, and then it's going to bring me up some pretty common things that you do for hunger. You might do food collection and food banks. You might do meal preparation and distribution. This is going to be us, community gardens and agriculture, or hunger awareness and advocacy, or other hunger service activity. So if we clicked on community garden and agriculture, it'll come up with that. The number of people served, there's 300 clients in the food pantry that benefits from our community garden. So I would type in 300, and usually about 10 of our members do this project. And it takes them about 3 hours each. So that's a total of 30 hours. So that's as simple as entering a service activity is. It's just looking at the default buttons and entering the information. And telling the story is I've made a simple little statement about what we are doing, garden work to provide produce for 5 Loaves Food Pantry. And then LCI gives you default photos, which to me aren't very good. Well, I've got photos of my own. And so I pick the upload button and then select image. And then all my photos for the garden are under the Saxy Lions Club folder. And you'll see several pictures here where we served in the garden. So let me find one of them. Here we are, garden work. Let's see if this is a good one. Not really. Let's look at this one. No, don't like that one. That one. This one looks pretty good. So I picked the photo, and you can crop this photo. You can move the borders up and down, right and left. That might make it a fuller picture. But once you've got your picture the way you want it, you just save that image, and that becomes your photo on this report. And then all you have to do to report this activity is click on the report button. And it'll come back and say successfully submitted. If you want to then view it, you would go to activities and click on past activities. And you would see this community garden activity that we just ended. Everybody kind of get that?
Yeah, cool.
All right, let's run through another one. From any screen, I can just click on report past activity, click the report button, and this time let's do a donation. And just because I've got one set up, we'll just do a donation to the 5 Loaves Food Pantry. Again, it's the Saxy Lions Club. And this time, let's back this up and say it's for a whole month. So we made our donation in November, and it started November 1st and ended November 30th. So we made a full month of donation. Activity type was donation. The cause is hunger again. But let's just pick another one just to be doing. Let's say it's an environmental cause. Funds donated, $500. Organization receiving is a 5 Loaves Food Pantry. Now, this under donations, you're just about always going to have what they call additional matrix. So you click this box and turn that to yes. What that allows you to do then is say how many volunteers participated, how many funds were raised, and the number of people served. And now you've got donation to 5 Loaves Food Pantry. All right, and under photos again, I go out and choose another photo. I'm remembering, I think one of these is pretty good. Let me find it. Yeah. You can see this kind of is at least half our club. So if you get the idea, I'm simply picking a photo that kind of depicts a lot of our club. And I save that image. And so now the image is part of my report. Again, if I'd simply click the report button, it makes that report. If you want to look at it, and things are working real fast so far today, say that, and then that one didn't take yet. If it's not quite there yet, you come back out and back in. It's still not there. All right, no big deal. It'll eventually show up. But I'll get us back and try it one more time just to see if it's there yet. Oh, I know why we're not seeing it. I picked November 1, didn't I?
Yeah.
So it's down here further. Let me find November 1.
There he is. I know it's a meeting.
Here we are.
Mhm.
That donation to 5 Loaves Food Pantry. This is our report. Let me just show you some things while we're here. With this report, let's say you make this donation quite often. All you got to do to kind of make the same report is duplicate that report. And in this case, it's reporting a past activity. And you might even want to copy the feature photo. I'm sorry. You don't want the feature photo. You want the photo gallery photo. And you continue. And so now, all you would have to do is change the date here. I can show you the, let's just say it started December 1, but I can't go past today. But let's just say this went till the 10th. But if I do that, and it didn't keep the photo like I thought it did, but we'll get it back again here. So I'll report that. Come back. And there's the same report, except this time it's December 1 through December 10. So the point is you've used the same report to make another one and just change the information in it. Also, at any point, you can edit any of these reports and change things in them. Let's say we worked extra hard at this time and we worked 5 hours. So we could change that to 100 hours. Then simply come back in and click the report button and it'll report that new change. Same thing, let's say you found out we didn't really do that report, which in this case we didn't. You can come into the report and delete it. So that's kind of some of the main reports. Here's another thing you can do.
It's pretty cool.
We can report a past activity. Let me see if I've got these the way I think I do. Here's our Sexy Lions Club meeting. And you know that you're going to probably, most of you will have 2 meetings a month. So we had one back on November 15th. We didn't have one this month because we had a Christmas party. But let's just say you had a activity. In this case, I guess I'm going to pick the feature photo and see if it takes it. But we'll just come in and say we actually had a meeting this last Tuesday, the 7th. So there's 8 of us there. We spent 3 hours each, so it's 24 hours. And it's simply the Sexy Lions Club meeting. And yeah, this time I picked the right choice because you see it plugged the photo in without me having to make another. So I can come in and simply report that. And so now we've kind of done most of the activities that a Lions Club does: donations, service activities, meetings, just to show you some of these others. I guess not to be unexpected, a lot of things that our club does, I report because I'm usually the only one there. So for example, we had a Christmas social last night that Fred and Pam and I were at. So I reported on our Christmas social. Now, people say this is cheating, but I'm going to give our club credit for everybody that was there. So I'm going to say that 25 people attended the social, and we each spent about 5 hours because I give people their travel time in addition to the time they were at the meeting. So I'm real generous on reporting. So I basically said that 25 people at 125 hours, and I comment that I attended, put on by the district governor, and attended by some 25 District 2X lines, X1 lines, and family members. And I simply picked a feature photo, but I also included a photo gallery. So that's kind of how you do reporting. And it's simply a few buttons that you click. People make a big thing out of it, but basically the buttons are just sitting there waiting for you to pick them and enter your stuff. And if I guess the most important thing is to take some pictures, because that way you've got a nice picture. If you'll look at our reporting here, and you look at everything we do, everything I report, there's not a default picture in here. I've got a picture from Facebook, or I've got a picture that somebody made at the meeting. If I don't have that, I'll just use my default photo. Just about anything you do here, it's possible to have a photo and pull it over. Here's another thing. You can move through your activities with next, last, first, and last buttons. So in other words, if you look at all this, you can see that there's a lot of things. I'm not afraid to look stupid at meetings. You can see me here with a lines thing on my head. This is Floyd Daigle, who does Saturday morning coffee with Line Floyd. So he's floating in his coffee cup. So anyway, that's reporting. Now, here's a few more interesting things. You can look at the activities people do beyond your club. For example, if you pick the District 2X1, you're going to see other clubs like Terrell, Forney, Dallas Everest, DeSoto, so forth. And let me put this into another way to look at this. In list view, you're not looking at the pictures, you're looking at raw reports. And in this case, if you can see, there's 254 pages of reports here. And you can sort this in any of these card columns. For example, if you sort it in club order, it's alphabetical by club. Now, let's say we wanted to see, for example, the Grand Prairie Lions Club. Well, the Grand Prairie Lions Club is a little over halfway through 254 pages of reports, but there's a lot of what I would call heavy hitters above them, like the Dallas Oak Cliff Lions Club and the Coppell Lions Club. There's a lot of reporting. So I'm going to guess that Grand Prairie is probably somewhere down around page 150. So if I do that, I move down in the general area of Grand Prairie. I'm not quite there because you can tell I'm at Irving, DFW, India. So it's a little further down. Let's try 170. Still not out of it because we're at Irving Noonday.
It's the other way.
Whoops, we went a little too far.
You're going up, you need to go backwards.
Right, but it's G before I. So let me go up a little. So where did 150 put us, Fred?
Try 100. See where that is. Yeah, okay.
We're getting close.
Yeah.
When you get close, you don't really have to do anything except page back with the previous button. Whoops. Got to do it one at a time. There's the kind of the end of Grand Prairie Host. Grand Prairie Host is also a big reporter, so they're gonna be back here several pages. But you get the idea. You can look at the entire district, and if you kind of know how all this works, you can move this around within this organization. You also, let's say you only were interested in certain causes. You can sort it in the cause button. Sorry, in the cause column. And let me start it over. Get back to matrix. Get back to list view. Get back to matrix. Get back to district UX1. I think we've lost our place here. This happens because there we go. And let's sort on cause, and it's alphabetical. So childhood cancer is first one here. Childhood cancer is the least reported activity. It's the least done activity, of course, also. But if you just look through here, you'll see that childhood cancer doesn't go on too long. And then diabetes. Is fairly popular. The most popular things that are done are hunger, vision, and environment. Diabetes and childhood cancer are the least reported. So, does anybody have any questions about anything we've looked over?
Cool. Oh, yeah. So you can also select by activity level or type or stat over on the other left side.
Sure. Yeah, you can, it's already, you can put it in the date order, which is interesting. But the trouble is, once you're in this and you've had one price sort, it kind of seems to keep that. So you've got to kind of refresh it so that it starts over, so to speak. And you've got to always get it back in the list view.
Oh, gallery.
So you can, and it's still not right. Of course, very few people are going to really look at this on a great big global scale. Just to show you some interesting things, or if you do look at it on a global scale, let me back it up. I'm going to start it again. In fact, let's just come back in and start over. All right. For example, if you look at it, my club Saxon has served 5,500 people, 77 activities, 3,852 volunteer hours, $8,590 funds donated. If you change that to District 2X1, we've served 92,000 people, 814 service activities, 17,333 volunteer hours, and donated 131,000 in funds. If you look at multiple District 2, which is the state of Texas, now you step up to 1.34 million people served. If you look at the total US and affiliates. This may take a while, because now you're getting a report on the entire United States and our associated affiliates, which is the Bahamas. And so that's 1.34 million. And then all of LCI is 187,346,377 people served. And we donated somewhere there, I lost LCI. There we go. We donated $180 million. And that's just since July 1 through today. And if you start looking through here, you'll see who the heavy donators and servers are. Africa is high. Not kind of out of not just because it's so big, but because there's such great people it's serving. India, South Asia, and the Middle East is our largest serving by far. For the Lions Clubs International. If you look at them, 126,546,000 people served. The US has only served 13 million. Africa has served 10 million. And Europe is at 3 million. South and Central America actually shows to have served more people than the US has. And that's partly because the US just doesn't report like they should. So if everybody would report, I know that these numbers would be a lot higher. Because I'm almost positive that the US and their affiliates have served more people than South America, Central America, the Caribbean, and Mexico. Could be wrong, but I think this number is artificially low, and mostly because the US hasn't reported well. So isn't that kind of a startling numbers that we're that good at serving? 187, over 187 million people served.
Oh. It's only half the year.
And only half the year. And our district is at 92,000 people served already. I think Governor Esmeralda's goal was 160,000, wasn't it?
I think so.
So if you got 92,000 served already in 6 months, we're not quite to the end of December, but she's going to approach 200,000 people served. If you do the math on that, you know, it's 92,000 twice. So. All right. Any questions from anybody?
Yeah, would you go back to the activities again?
Okay.
And right down below, activity level, those check boxes on the left, clear on the left, yeah.
These?
Yeah. How do they work?
I'm going to be honest, I only report at the club level. I would guess that if you pick club activities, you would get only SACSI.
And that looks correct.
Pick district and see what happens. You can tell that there doesn't appear to be any district level activities.
Oh, because it's SACSI up at the top.
Oh, okay. Well, I might be able, let me put it on district and then click district activities. Oops. Revised here. Now you're seeing if you'll notice, so in this case, somebody specifically, it looks like John Wicker does this. He reports things at the district level. He says that his Leo Council St. Jude project, his Leo Club Advisor Conclave, him attending the cabinet meeting, so forth. He's reported that not at a club level, but at a district level, because you can tell the creator's John Wicker, and the club is actually District 2X1.
Mhm.
You see, it's all him. I say that. Here's Peggy Smotherman, is also reporting on the Helping Hands telethon. And Casey Cheshire did a reporting of the executive committee meeting. Looks like Gloria Mather reported one.
There's only two
So
pages.
that- Yeah.
So district officers can report.
I can't answer that.
Yeah, I need,
Why don't you try sometime and see any line that signs up for my line can enter an activity. And let me see if I can show you how that works.
but you can't necessarily report it.
You can't report it, but let's just see how we work here. Because let's pick District 2X1, highest activities, and let's come down here and say unreported. If you look, some of these activities have been entered, but you can tell they haven't been reported. Elizabeth Hood, Mary Baker, Mia. Some people have done some entering of activities, but they haven't reported them. If we click on these buttons, I'm pretty positive only the Turtle Lions Club authorized reporters can report their activity. Let me just click on one though and just see. You can tell it didn't take.
Mhm. Okay.
But this is an example of people that have entered activities. And if you look, there's actually 7 pages of these. If you start looking around, you can tell who maybe doesn't know that they're not a reporter or they don't know how to report. Let me find one that I know. Joanne Blair should be able to report because she's the secretary of Health and Evening. Jackie Rife should have been able to report because she's the secretary of Allen High Noon.
Yeah.
Amy Glasscock from Richardson Post, she's the secretary. So these people have entered the report but haven't reported them. Now I can't speculate why that would be. And Nina, I know, was the president, so she should have been able to report. If you just look through these, you'll see all these people that have entered activities, but they're not reported. And there's 7 pages of those with 16 on a page.
Billy, could it be that you do and plan a future activity and put that in there and then forget to come back to it?
It could be, but if you come to the very end here, this one is really strange.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Alice Velasco put an activity in and she said she did it December 31st of 1969. That was long before we were computerized.
Right.
So I know that's simply a typing mistake.
Right.
These
Yeah.
others, 2011 is not possible either. And again, Alice Velasco did that.
Mhm.
Joe Dunbar from DeSoto has one from 2017. Let's bring us back a little. If you kind of look at these, you'll see a lot of repeat names, people that have entered them, but for whatever reason didn't know how to report them or didn't get to the point of reporting them. I know Gene with Fevers has never been an officer that could report, so I'm pretty sure he just entered this activity. Again, any line that gains access to my line can make a report, but they can't report them. They can enter a report, but not report it. Again, only 4 officers in the club can actually do the reporting: president, secretary, service chair, and administrator if you have them. That's the only 4 officers that are allowed to report.
Right.
All right.
Very good.
And then what Pam was speaking of, status of active. Elizabeth Hood has that City of Terrell Christmas parade that we were at. That was Saturday the 4th of December. And that isn't reported yet. The breakfast with Santa that Forney had this last Saturday, it's not reported yet. And they gave out the Bill Melton Humanitarian Award at Dallas Oak Cliff. That's not reported yet. So this is an example of people entering activities, and they're not really, to my eyes, future activities, because I know all these were done. City of Terrell Christmas Parade, breakfast with Santa, giving out that humanitarian award. Here's the Plano Colin Nicholas doing their canned food donation drive. So they've got it in there. Let's just look at it a little more detail. In order to support, we will hand over the collected food prior to Thanksgiving. So you can tell that that should have been reported.
Mhm.
Why it's not, I can't say. Let's see, Dallas, I'm sorry, Plano Colin Nicholas. Does anybody know what office he holds?
Phew. Yeah, let me look it up here. I've got it. Plano.
He is the club secretary. So
Yeah,
he's entered the activity, but he hadn't reported it.
yeah, he's secretary.
I guess
I'll let people forget.
if somebody wanted to mention that, that's kind of a,
We probably ought to mention that at the cabinet meeting, because these are hours that haven't added.
yeah, these are hours and service and everything that's not
Yeah.
fully reported. Canned food drive,
Aren't in the count.
yeah, Barney doing an I-20. Dallas Community Police Awards. Even here's a big one, the Lion Satin Tissue Foundation Golf Tournament.
Tell you what, I could go through and find the current secretaries
Yeah,
clubs and send them an email and say, go into the activities unreported and
Yeah.
report your activities
right.
and get those counted.
Yeah, because, I can't see it at my level because if you look at me, I don't make upcoming activities and I don't have past activities that are unreported. I don't have past activities that are active. I don't have past activities that are in draft status.
Yeah.
All of my activities are reported. If you click on that, you get the same number that you get if I don't pick anything. One of the trickiest things about MYLION is that no matter what you do, when you come to activities, it defaults to upcoming. I guess that's, it was originally designed that you were going to come in here and do all your activity planning through MYLION. I know of very few clubs that do that. And I don't do it at my level because we do our planning other ways. And all I'm doing is reporting the activities once they're done.
You don't enter them until they're actually done.
Yes.
And then you can click report and it's
So
filed.
that's why all my reporting starts with simply clicking on report past activity and picking the report button. Once I've got that, I get the default screen up that allows me to just follow the pink boxes and enter the information.
Cool. I know if you plan a future activity, you
Yeah.
can send an email to anybody in the world.
Right, and ask them to help you with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's I tried it once and it was very hard to narrow it down to who you really wanted to send it to.
That's right, because you get in here and you start looking at activities beyond taxi, even our district.
You got a lot of lines.
It's hard to come in here and because it's in date order. And so, for example, if you wanted to ask Ronald Stewart here of DeSoto about, that isn't a good one. But let's say we wanted to ask Red Oak, Eva Richardson about her breakfast with Santa. There's not a real easy way to find that. I guess if you kind of know the date it happened, you could come in here and see it. And by the way, Eva Richardson is one of the people I trained directly to enter activities. So she wasn't entering activities before, and now you can tell she's active at doing it. So she's in here and she says they spent 80 volunteer hours. They raised $1,300. Pancake breakfast with Santa. So that's a pretty good pancake breakfast, $1,300.
Cool.
Now, if we come back and look at that, she's also got a nice picture.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
We're almost out of time.
All right.
Ed, Mary, y'all good?
No, that was very good.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It was really very informative. Thank you.
All right. All right. Well, if Pam's ready for us to go, that's all I have for you.
Well, thank
Good
you,
one.
everybody, for taking your lunch time. It was very informative to me. Now I got to go in and do some stuff. So now it's not like I didn't know how to do it. There's some new things that I did learn and some things that I knew, and just want you to realize and just spread the message to others how important it is that we put in our service activities, and it's not real hard. And I'm sure Lion Billy would be happy to help anyone that needs a little bit more one-on-one.
I think, for example, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation pays us pays LCIF a nickel for every service hourly report.
Wow.
You saw that big number out there for LCI. That's a lot of money that will come to LCIF if you'll just report. And you say, well, that doesn't come to my club. Well, it does eventually, because our district has benefited a lot from LCIF grants. And these tornadoes that just hit Kentucky, they're going to get a lot of money from LCIF. We're going to be a big contributor to rebuilding and helping down there. So trust me, it makes a difference.
Very good.
Thanks.
Thanks, Billy.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a
Bye.
great day.
Thanks.
All right, bye.